And I mean, that's certainly I think one of the things that we've experienced, the legacy automotive European companies have struggled with, because we know they can make really good cars. They can do really good suspension and steering and body, all that stuff they can do really well. But it's the software that is always the problem. I mean, the early Volkswagen, the ID3 that a neighbor of mine has, all the problems were software. The car was perfect. There was nothing wrong mechanically with it. It was the software that messed up quite often, and the charging was a problem.
Yes. If I explain to the listeners how crazy our software system is and why it's so difficult for legacy car companies to get software right, I'll do it very quickly.
Yeah.
So to say probably $500 a vehicle, or let's say 350 quid a vehicle.
Yeah.
We farmed out all the modules that control the vehicles to our suppliers because we could bid them against each other. So Bosch would do the body control module, someone else would do the seat control module, someone else would do the engine control module.
Right.
And we'd have about 150 of these modules of semiconductors all through the car. The problem is the software are all written by, 150 different companies, and they don't talk to each other.
Right.
So even though it says Ford on the front,
yeah,
I actually have to go to Bosch to get permission to change their seat control software.
Right.
So even if I had a high-speed modem in the vehicle and I had the ability to write their software, it's actually their IP. And I have 150, we call it the loose confederation of software providers, 150 completely different software programming languages. All the structure of the software is different. It's millions of code, and we can't even understand it all. So, that's why at Ford, we've decided in the second generation product to completely insource the electrical architecture.
Right.
And to do that, you need to write all the software yourself. But just remember, car companies haven't written software like this.
Yeah.
Ever. They've never written software. So we're literally writing how the vehicle operates, the software to operate the vehicle for the first time ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the big, that's the big change that I always want to, and I've discussed this with numerous people in the automotive sector, and the general public just don't get that, because it's just a car. We bought a car 10 years ago, and my dad had a Ford when I was a kid, and it was just that way, and they worked, and that was fine, and everybody understood how they worked. And now suddenly it's a different machine. I've always said this. It is and that's the big challenge for companies like Ford to make
That's why
that transition.
I had to split the business. I had to split the company into 3 pieces because I kept watching our ICE engineers try to figure out, how to do over their updates or change the software for the vehicle. They didn't know. They're not software people.
Yeah.
So we had to attract new talent. And actually some of the Ford people are really important because you can get the best software person from Apple, but they don't know anything about safety critical systems.
No.
You don't want to fire an airbag off the cloud. You need to do that in the vehicle. So, you need a mix of traditional people, but you got to make that decision. Do you cut and do it all yourself?
Yeah.
Or you keep trying with these, modules in your supply chain?
Yeah.
And I watch way too many companies continue to try. I won't name the names because they're competitors, but it's shocking to me, how many people are sticking with very old electrical architectures and software from other people, confederacy. It will never work. And no matter how many software engineers they hire, your car's not going to work. You're going to have problems. So we've just decided to go student body left on that and insource it all.
Yeah.
Like Henry Ford would have done.